3.5. Write and graph equations of lines. Slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals ilm x plus b, where ilm is the slope. And remember, the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. B is your y-intercept. That's the place that the graph crosses the y-line. Standard form is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are numbers. All right. Example 1. Write an equation of a line from a graph. Write an equation of line in slope-intercept form. Well, find the slope. We have 2 points marked on this. So let's go ahead and say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That is the second y. It doesn't matter again which is first and which is second. So negative 1 minus 3 over 2 minus 0. Minus 4 over 2, and that equals negative 2. And then we can also do this by counting it. So let me change pen colors. So if we start right here, it goes down, so we know the slope is negative. It goes down 1, 2, 3, 4. For every 1, 2, it goes across. So again, I have negative 4 over 2. So a good way to make sure you're right on slope is go ahead and plot the 2 points and count it. Now, let's find the y-intercept. Well, this one is really easy because it goes across at a really nice point. So this point right up here is y-intercept. So the y-intercept is 3. Write the equation. Okay, y equals ilm x plus b. So y equals, our slope is negative 2 x plus 3. There we go. Next page. Write an equation of a parallel line. Write an equation of the line passing through point 1, negative 1. That's parallel to the line with the equation y equals 2x minus 1. Okay, find the slope ilm. The slope of a line parallel to y equals 2x minus 1 is the same as a given line. So the slope is 2, because here's the slope. Find the y-intercept b by using ilm equals 2 and the xy as 1, negative 1. So we're going to stick 1, negative 1 in this formula. So the y is negative 1, the ilm was 2, the x was 1. We're going to solve for b. So 2 times 1 is 2, and then we need to subtract 2 from both sides to get b by itself. So b is negative 3. So that means the slope is 2 and b is negative 3. So y equals 2x minus 3. Okay, go ahead and do these 2 checkpoints. Start the video again when you're done. Write an equation of a perpendicular line. Okay, first we need to find the perpendicular slope. So the first slope of this is negative 3. So for a perpendicular slope, the other slope, when we multiply it by, has to equal negative 1. So when we solve, we get 1/3. Okay. Now, the quick and easy way to do it is to take the first slope, flip it over in a fraction, and change the sign. Okay, now we're going to use a y-intercept, and we're going to find it by taking the 1/3 and putting in the x and the y that they gave us, 3 and 2 above, and solving for that b. Here's x3, plus b. So 1/3 of 3 is 1, and then we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Because m is 1/3 and b is 1, the equation on the line is 1/3 of x plus 1. Now you can check that the lines J and K are perpendicular by graphing, and then using a protractor to measure one of the angles formed by the line. So let's go ahead and graph it just for fun. So here we go. Y, let me make this smaller so I can see it all. Y equals negative 3x plus 1. So I'm going to put a dot on the plus 1. I'm going to count 3 down, 1, 2, 3, and go over 1, and that's my first line. For my line I just made, I'm going to put another dot at 1, because its b was also 1. I'm going to go up 1, over 3, 1, 2, 3, and then come down here. It looks perpendicular to me. Does it go through the point 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2? Sure does, right here. So we are good. Okay, checkpoint. Go ahead and do this checkpoint. Start again when you're done. Okay, here's the story problem with this. The graph models the total cost of renting an apartment. Write an equation of the line. Explain the meaning of the slope and the y-intercept of the line. Well, let's talk about what the slope and the y-intercept mean first. Okay, the y-intercept is what? 500, right? Up here. And it's 500 at 0 months. That means before you even move into the apartment, it costs $500. Well, that must be, what do you think? It's probably the deposit. I bet it would be the deposit, or first month's rent, something like that. Okay. Now, what's the slope? Well, it goes up all the time, and over 2 months is so much, and 3 months is so much. Well, that's the rent itself per month, isn't it? The slope. So let's find that first. Let's take 2,375 and minus 1,250. Put it over 5 minus 2. I'm just getting these numbers straight off the graph. And that equals 1,125 over 3, which equals $375, which is your monthly rent. That is awfully cheap. This book's a little bit on the old side. Most rents now around $500 or so, at least, for a 1-bedroom. So don't get excited about thinking you can afford an apartment yet. Now, find the y-intercept. Well, we can work it out, can we? Or we could just notice that the y-intercept is 500. Okay, because we're pretty smart and we can read that off the graph. But if you wanted to work it out, we could put down 1,250 equals our slope, 375, times 2. So we're using this 1,250 and 2 point. And then after we multiplied and subtracted that number off, it would be 500. Now write an equation for the line, because m equals 375 and b equals 500. The equation is y equals 375 or 75x plus 500. Okay. The equation models cost. The slope is the rent, and the y-intercept is the initial cost. Oh, they already put that, so they wanted us to put y-intercept is the initial cost to rent the apartment. Now, example 5. Graph a line in standard form. Now, I even have a few college kids that don't like these, but they are really easy. So, instead of subtracting the 2x and then dividing everything by 3 to get the y by itself and put it in slope intercept, let's just graph it from here. So, to find the x-intercept, we're going to let y be 0 up in here. So then I have 2x plus 3 times 0 equals 6. So 2x equals 6, so x has to be 3. So when x is 3, y is 0. There's my dot. To find the y-intercept, let x be 0. So 2 times 0 plus 3y equals 6. 3 times y is 6, 2. So when x is 0, y is 2. There's my line. Easy. Okay. Solve a real-world problem. You can buy a magazine at a store for $3. You can subscribe yearly to the magazine for a flat rate of $18. After how many magazines is subscription a better buy? Well, we know the cost of the yearly subscription is $18. Cost of one magazine is 3 times x, where x represents the number of magazines. So we're going to graph each equation. Okay, y equals 18. So let's put some dots at every time that y is 18. Okay, it's a horizontal line, isn't it? So here's that line. Now, let's graph y equals 3x. Well, let's just write it here. Where's my intercept? 0, right? Because there's not a number there, so it has to be 0. So my first point is 0. Then let's count my slope. Up 3 and over 1. Notice that my scale is kind of weird here, so don't be fooled. Okay, here we go. And they're supposed to cross right here at 6:18. Well, what does that mean? That means the point of intersection is at 6:18. And using the graph, you can see that it's cheaper to buy magazines individually if you buy less than 6 magazines a year. If you buy more than 6 a year, it's cheaper to just go ahead and buy the subscription. Okay. Checkpoint. Go ahead and do these 2, or 3 actually, and that'll be the end of it.